The blue shields. You can see a mixture of helmets along the line, different types of helmets. The only uniformity within the Roman army was that each man must have a helmet, a body armour, sword, possibly a dagger, a javelin and a shield. The shield gives the idea of his unit, proclaims his unit, or you can recognise the insignia on it, therefore recognise the unit. The helmets are varying in types. Some of them could be as much as 50, 60 years old, but they just are pushed on back through the unit. Every time a man goes out or gets killed, it's pushed on to a new member. So the variety of helmets there, imperial Gallics with eyebrows on the top. The other protection on there is the brow guard, the front piece sticking out. This is to deflect blows away from the helmet. It's also very good for nutting other people, giving them a Glasgow kiss. Okay, now then, also the large cheek plates are there to protect the face from blows, although they do depend very much on that shield for deflection. However, on the back of the neck, most of them have quite a large projecting neck guard. This is designed again to stop blows coming down onto the neck or onto the shoulders. Some of the lads are wearing bronze helmets, as you can see, as well as the iron helmets. Going on down from there, each man has round his neck a focali, a scarf. This is not worn because anybody is feeling a bit cool or whatever. It's there to protect his neck from the chafing of the armour. On the body, you can see various types of armour. As I say, some of them have what we call Corbridge lorica segmentata, mainly because it was found first at Corbridge. Lots of pieces of equipment that I would name are actually named after the places they were first found by archaeologists, and then the name sticks and it goes on from there wherever they're found. Some of them are wearing the lorica segmentata, the metal plates, the best type of armour of those that are being worn. This is lighter by a few pounds than the other types of armour. It is also a very good protection. As the mail itself is a good protection, but it's a lot heavier, and obviously punches at it, a drive at it can actually break ribs or cause injuries internally, although it might stop a blow from going through. As you will see, most of the lads are not wearing anything on the legs. The tunica is worn above the knees, generally, should be, because only barbarians wear trousers. However, just to make sure you're clear on this, these lads are not going to stand outside in a freezing winter on guard duty dressed as they are. They will wear the feminalia or braccae of the barbarian. They will also wear socks, foot wrappings, leg wrappings, animal skins wrapped around their body and so on. On their upper body in the winter, with the woolen or linen tunic, they can wear 3 tunicas of wool, some with long sleeves to keep them comfortable, and a large woolen cloak over the top, or even a leather cloak if it's pouring of rain, all of which to make sure they survive okay. Every soldier knows in the field they've got to do everything to survive, not just against the enemy, but against the weather. So on their feet they wear the calagai, the studded boot. This helps them get good purchase on the ground whilst fighting. Ordinary leather soles slip on wet grass or mud. These help to give you a good grip, like football boots or hockey boots. Some of them are wearing enclosed boots, others are wearing the open boot, the calagai. Okay. The other defence they have is the shield, the scutum. Semicircular, generally rectangular, although some of them have the curved sides from the Augustan period, the earlier period. The design of the Legion is on there. The 14th Legion one is taken directly from a carving at Mainz of the 14th Legion. The colours we cannot say are correct, but the design is following that design. The lads of the 8th have got their own design on there so you can recognise them, and some of them on the tabula ansata on the side actually have their legion denoted as well. Right, going on to the weapons they use. The pilum, the javelin. This is thrown at probably quite a close range. The modern javelin can be thrown about 100 metres in the Olympics, etc. But since our next arm is the sword, we don't want to have to throw it that far, then run to meet you. So we like you to get nice and close, probably about 20 meters away, then these are launched into you. It's a crowd stopper. Any charge against us meets this volley, and they do have a second javelin, which they've probably stuck in the ground behind them while waiting for you. That then could be delivered as well. Once they've delivered these, then they will draw their swords, the gladius. Originally, before fighting the Spaniards round about the 2nd century BC, these soldiers used to use a longer sword, a slashing sword. But up against the Spaniards, the people of Spain, they suddenly came on this wicked pointed sword. And they decided, after defeating the Iberians, that this was a good weapon to adopt. Roman army was very good at taking things from other people and adopting it and using it within their own ranks. The pillar is one of the things, the pilum. The shield came in from the Samnites, the sword from the Spaniards. This is a thrusting sword, used mainly to pick out the nice soft spot on the body of your enemy. Since most of their enemies do not have armour apart from their chieftains, a good spot to go for is the abdomen. 4 inches of blade in there, or 10 centimetres, is a decider in a fight. A cutting action can open you up, but you can still fight on while bleeding until enough blood is gone to weaken you. So the thrusting weapon was adopted by the Roman army. Right, now then, two of them are Batavians, and they're dressed in much the same way, equipped much the same way, but these lads are brought in for their special skills. The Batavians were very good at crossing rivers and swamps. They came from what is now Holland. They were used in the invasion, crossing the Medway, and also crossing over onto I can't think of the name of it, the island above Wales. What's that one on the corner? Anglesey. Sorry folks, I do apologise. Anyhow, they attacked the island of Mona, that's the name I know it by, Anglesey, and wiped out the Druids there. We do apologise for that.
Like we mean it.
So, these lads are, with their special skills, as you can see, are equipped very much like the legionaries, a helmet to protect the head, a body armour of mail, and also they have a spear for thrusting. This is generally not thrown. They go in close and they use this in prodding in at you all the time, thrusting at you all the time. That is their chosen style of weapon. But they also carry what is effectively an ethnic weapon, one of their own type of weapons, a longer bladed Sparta. It has been modified to take the Roman point. Although they can cut with these things, they also have that wicked thrusting point. They're trained in the same way as the legionaries. They're very good at crossing rivers. We have other types who are good at mountain fighting. There are others who made their way down through Wales when we were here, pushing you back further and further, just to rub the salt in. Okay, now then, they carry a rectangular oval shield on which they've got the marking. The other chap at the present moment is carrying a legionary shield. That's the auxiliaries of that type. Now we have another one, a special one. We've all heard of Homs in Syria, all going under terrible problems at the moment. This guy came from Homs in Syria with fantastic skill with a bow. As you know, it takes a lifetime to really perfect skills with a bow. This chap was one of those that was generally brought in from there, recruited into Roman army. They were serving in Britain as well. He's slightly different. He's wearing more of a traditional helmet for him, a conical helmet, and he's got a scowl neck guard to protect his neck, but he still has those big cheek plates to protect his face. Generally speaking, these lads would be there loosing their arrows at the enemy and then be looking back to the commander to see when they've got to fall back, because they didn't like too much of the knife work or sword work at the front end. So they'd be looking to fall back behind their comrade once they'd loosed off their arrows. However, for their protection, they do carry swords. Again, the Sparta, the longer weapon, and on his other hip, as with some of the legionaries, a pugio, a dagger. Right, that's the general rank and file. Now up the front, up the back there, you can see wing same way as the legionaries, you can see, but he's also identified by having the two feathers thrust up. Some of them also wore crests. Incidentally, the lads themselves would only wear crests for special occasions, the Emperor's birthday, a battle honours day, or so on. They generally were not worn in combat. However, the gentleman in the middle with the red crest is a centurion. Now, normally people think centurion. And with the case of the auxiliaries, then receive citizenship during our period of time. This gentleman, and I use the word advisedly, serves for life until he's too sick or too old to carry on. One centurion was 80 years of age and still serving in the army. But I don't know if he's going to make that age. The thing with the centurions is they lead from the front. They're not officers who say, go get them lads, I'll see you when you come back for your tea break. It's follow me. And the men move forward and are urged on by the optio. Now another important man in the ranks is the signifer. He's identified by his standard, the signum. And if you have a look on there, at the top, there is an identifying plaque which gives third cohort, cohort 30th. Underneath it are 3 round discs. We believe that these identified as the 3rd century of the 3rd cohort. There are never more than 6 of these discs on any carving that we've seen, and there are 6 centuries in every cohort. So, underneath that there, underneath the discs, you will see a Capricorn leaping over a sun disk and a lunar pendant.